Hey everyone, this is Sided Williams doing the preamble for this ep. This is our first guested episode, and it's with one of our longest speed pals, Kaffelon. Because I forgot to plug his stuff during the pod, make sure to follow him on Twitch and Twitter at Kaffelon. Links in the description. Enjoy the cast.
Welcome back, gamers. This is Video Games Are Hard with Trey and Sid. Sorry, Sid and Trey. I'm Trey.
I'm Sid. Hey, what's up, gamers?
And for the first time ever, this is a revolutionary episode because for the first time we have a special guest, and it is none other than Kaffelon himself.
What's up?
How's it going?
The SMS legend.
SMS legend, yes. How are you today, Kaf?
I'm pretty good. I got Wendy's 4 for 4 earlier, so I'm pumped up and juiced.
I got a Wendy's triple.
Ooh.
Earlier today.
What does that even mean?
I got 3 slabs of meat on a Wendy's burger.
Well, that sounds good.
That sounds...
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I didn't want to step on any toes there. Trey wanted to intro the podcast, so I hope that the first intro gets in somehow, but apparently, if we go to the second intro, hello everybody, I'm Sided Williams, this is Average
Yeah,
Trey.
I might have immediately messed up because I said, hey, YouTube, and I was like, well, it's also not only on YouTube, but on Spotify and Google Play, but okay,
But hey,
whatever.
YouTube, you know, everybody's equal.
You know, I tend to favor the YouTube audience more, so...
We have Kaffelon here. He's our first guest ever, and it seems fitting because considering he was one of our first speed friends of all time. He's a notable Sunshine runner, first 118, legend of the game, ex Tetris grandmaster.
Basically,
I don't know how to introduce Kaf anymore, like gamer wise. Like, how do we introduce gamer wise Kaf?
You can just say God Gamer.
He's a god gamer.
He's a god gamer, but Kaf...
How do you define yourself in the gaming realm now, Kaf?
I call myself a multi-grandmaster / world record lord.
I couldn't have said it better myself. But I think a very pressing question we were pondering before this podcast that Kaf might have even touched on himself is how would you define what it means to be a gamer versus not a gamer? Because at certain points in your gaming career, you've been like, right now I feel like I'm not truly a gamer, and then a few months later you'd be like, I've changed my mind. I'm a gamer.
I'm a gamer. I'm a hardcore gamer now.
I am a gamer.
Well, if you wake up in the morning and all you're thinking about's the game, then you're a true gamer.
Ooh.
If you try to optimize your real life so that you can play the game more and become a better gamer, then you're a true gamer. That's how I see it.
Did you stop doing that?
Yeah. Like right now, I'm pretty much a casual. I barely...
But you're trying to get back into Sunshine.
Yeah.
You've actually done streams of
Yeah, I
Fast
saw you
80%
streaming last night,
a couple
actually.
nights
That
ago.
was interesting.
Yeah, but I only do like... I play with probably like I probably played like 10 hours of Sunshine in the past like a week or so, like max.
See, I feel like I've always been a gamer, you know, but I don't play a lot of games nowadays. Like, I play Mario Maker and I play all those casual shit games. You know, not that Mario Maker's a shit game, just all those casual shit games.
Casual shit games. Different from a shit game.
Yeah. They're not shit game, they're just casual shit game. And but I do play Sunshine, but I only play like 3 hours a day sometimes. You know,
well, ever since I picked up speedrunning, I definitely haven't played as many kinds of games because you have to commit so much time to particular games to get good at them. But I would still, for the most part, consider myself in the gamer sphere with speedrunning.
I wouldn't even consider like different games as like hours towards many, like it doesn't have to be different games. You can just commit however many hours to Tetris and still be considered a Tetris grandmaster / gamer.
It just seems different when it's like hours committed to a typically single player game versus hours committed to, let's say, League of Legends or something.
Yeah.
But I guess it's still the same idea.
But so even though you've only played like 10 hours of Sunshine, have you played other games? Because all right, there's a little bit of cheating involved. There's a Discord where we have Kaf Thoughts, and he just like types what the fuck he's thinking every now and then. And every now and then when you look at Kaf Thoughts and you're just like, he doesn't think he's a gamer anymore. Like,
Yeah, that definitely
what does that
shocked me
even
when I
mean?
saw that.
Like, he's one of the best gamers.
He's probably the
most
best
games that he
gamer in the good
plays.
people, if I were to answer that.
All right. Well,
There are really good gamers in the good people, to be fair.
There's another aspect. If you like turn gaming into a chore, like, oh, I gotta practice Sunshine today, then that's not being a real gamer anymore, in my view.
Isn't that
So,
being
like,
more of a gamer?
Nah, because it's like you don't really love it.
Yeah, if you're making the game your job, does that transcend gamerness?
If you're making the game your job, then you just game, but you're not a real gamer. That's
So
how I
the
see it.
question is,
So
Twitch streamers who stream purely for the money and not for love of the game, are they not gamers?
aren't gamers. They're not gamers.
Yeah, obviously not. If they just stream for the money.
So they're just straight up streamers with a game involved. Oh.
So in order to be a gamer, you have to game for the love of the game.
Yes.
That's a good answer.
So you fell out of love with the game, or just games?
I'm constantly falling in and out of love with video games.
What happened with that? How did that, like, how's that struggle?
It's a weird. I just enter phases. I go through like a month where I just like get obsessed with a video game, and then next month I don't care anymore.
That happens to me a lot with particular games, actually. I mean, we touched on that with like Animal Crossing and stuff that one episode. But for the most part, I mean, I sort of just like cycle between games and I come back to them eventually, because as far as speedrunning, you're kind of required to focus in on one game at a time. Like, as much as I try to be like, okay, now I'm gonna, sort of run these two games side by side and chip away at both of them. Every time I've tried to do that, I end up ultimately just focusing on one because it's just too much commitment to two games. So
I'm just trying to like think of like going in and out of gamerdom. Like I can't think of from that perspective whatsoever. Like once you're a cinephile and you know a bunch about movies and you just have learned so much about different layers of movies, and then you just stop watching movies for a month, in Calf's eyes, you're just not a cinephile anymore, or you're just not a movie lover. Just if you like take a month or two break from it.
Yeah. I don't know.
but you're still a gamer.
I mean, I'm a gamer, but
yeah,
I still play games like almost every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're
like what?
Lately I've been playing a little Sunshine, a little Tetris sometimes, a little Defense of the Ancients 2.
Yeah.
And that's about it lately.
Speaking of Dota 2. Oh yeah, Dota as well, right?
Yeah.
For everybody that doesn't know the Defense of the Ancients.
Yeah.
He just threw that in there. I was just like, yeah, what game is that again? Is that like one of those? No, it's not Civilization. It's Dota. It's just Dota. Dota 2.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of Tetris, I know you were watching some of the top 8 CTWC. This is the last time we'll talk about it, I swear. But the NES Classic Tetris tournament just happened. What were your thoughts on
it? Jonas got owned. That's the main
Owned.
takeaway. I think this is the first Tetris World Championship ever that he wasn't in Grand Finals.
I think that's actually true. Out of the 10 they've had, and he was out in top 32. It just goes to show how crazy competition is now.
So he kind of got owned, and Joseph Saley is kind of the GOAT right now.
I kind of saw it coming, honestly. Like, he was definitely doubting himself and getting the two-peat because he knew how fierce competition was, but he just seems so much more solid and consistent than other players. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So if to piggyback off that, but go to the original conversation. So if Jonas and Joseph take a break for a month,
then they don't actually.
Or they just play classic Tetris for the money. Like all those two people that are playing classic Tetris for the money. Are they not gamers anymore?
They're not real gamers.
Oh, they're not real.
Well, there actually was there was a $10,000 prize. Prize for first place in that tournament. Maybe he is just playing for the money.
Maybe he's just playing for the money. You know, Cap, have you ever thought about that?
Maybe he hates
you
Tetris.
Should start asking some of these pro Tetris players that you look up to for your Tetris masterydom if they're playing for the love of the game. You know?
I think all of them were at some point, but I'm not sure if they are, if they still do.
But you were playing Sunshine for the love of the game for the first, however, for 3 years or so, 2 or 3 years, probably.
Yeah.
So does that take it away from? Pardon me?
I used to play for the love of the game.
But do you play now for the love of the game? The past couple streams of Super Mario Sunshine that Caf has done with Fast Any% and a regular Any% last night as we record, were those for the love of the game or just trying to see if you can get the love of the game back?
Those are for the love of the game.
Oh, yeah?
I have a new rule when I play Sunshine, which is if I'm not enjoying it, I just stop.
That's pretty smart, honestly.
Do you think you might have to play some in order to get the love back? Or do you just like have it every now and then?
I just have it.
You just have it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Also, just, you know, I'm not a big fan of the resets. Whatever happened to just doing a speed run?
Yeah, why
so
can't we do
doing
race file?
speed runs?
What's your take on the timing drama? Dude, this is actually a good question. I didn't actually think about asking this question, but I know back in the day, CAF used to be on the side of Racefile, like at some point in the storied history of Kaffelon. Not that that's a bad thing. Racefile, I'm not saying Racefile or File Select or 2File or any of those are bad perspectives. It's just I'm often taken aback by random people that have a difference of opinion to me that I didn't think existed. So, Caf, if you want to...
Yeah. So, originally, back when the debate first really got big, I was a race filer.
And when did this first happen? It was like, what, 2015? Maybe 2016?
Like 2016, 17 maybe.
Yeah.
What about... like sure the race filer and stuff, but for reset versus file select, like the initial argument, you were for file select. Like it was only a 7-second difference. For everybody that doesn't actually know what we're talking about right now, it's a timing method for Super Mario Sunshine. The Japanese initially for Super Mario 64, and they still use it nowadays. You start from reset, but it doesn't really work for Super Mario Sunshine because you can't really mash A. You have to like move to the left on the menu screen, and it was super awkward.
Yeah, there's just like awkward quote-unquote gameplay in the file select screen you got to deal with each time. And also it seems like the time it spends resetting each time almost seems kind of random. Like the load time kind of differs a little bit.
Depending on the Wii or whatever. Yeah.
Not even just that, but like on the same setup, you'll sometimes get a faster reset and then a slower reset.
Yeah, it was weird. So we voted as a community or as the Western community, and nowadays the Japanese are actually using this, but starting from file select instead of reset timing. But then we started, or we think we started a kind of a movement where we just want to keep chipping away. Like we should have left it well enough alone. Every now and then we think that.
Yeah, ultimately switching to file select while it was minor at the time led to this slippery slope effect of wanting to cut off more and more at the expense.
It's like, if we cut off the 7 seconds that we cut, or if we cut off the 7 seconds at the start of the speedrun, for reset timing versus file select, why don't we just cut off the entirety of the 7 minutes at the start? So anyway, that's essentially what the argument turned into for file select versus race file, and that's what we're talking about now with CAF. We haven't really covered it yet, actually, which is kind of funny that we start talking about it now, but CAF was initially a race filer. Take it away, CAF.
Yeah, so that actually got me... Honestly, sometimes I forget that reset timing was ever a thing.
Yeah.
It was so long ago.
Just because I'm so accustomed to file select. But way back in the day, I used reset timing because all the good players did. Fun fact, I was actually the first world record holder to use file select for any percent at least. So
dude, J Cool could be the first 2-filer.
Yeah,
it's a cycle. Yeah, but that's quite a bit different. And also I wanted to touch on a funny thing I remember. Back when Kaf and I were like the two dominant players of Sunshine, forever ago, now everyone else is.
And Sid.
And Sid, he was also dominating. But like, dude, Kaf and I were on a tear in 2015, and there was kind of this controversial moment the first time that America has all 4 records, because the first time that Kaffelon broke the 79 Shines record, he didn't technically break it. The thing is that the leaderboards weren't fully set up yet to handle like reset versus file select. So Kaffelon only had the 79 Shines record because he did file select. Even though converted, it was still slower than whatever the faster one was.
Yeah, that might be like the weirdest speedrun thing I've ever done.
And it's just like fucking 79 Shines, so it's like, who cares? But it's still like significant.
Yeah. I said I got 79 world record. In reality, I didn't really have it. I was like 2 seconds off or something. But because of the leaderboards, I used file select. Tobo's record used reset. So it said my time was faster.
Yeah, and back in these days, like I said, we wouldn't convert times. This was on the Google spreadsheet where you could sort of just do whatever, and it wasn't to the discretion of speedrun.com's formatting. So basically, it was like there was a separate column that said either RS or FS, and no times were converted. It was simply so-and-so has this time with FS or RS. So even if you had a slower time with file select by less than 7 seconds, it was considered faster than the reset timing one. Which is kind of weird, but, it barely ever played a role.
It's good that absolutely nobody cared about 79 Shine record.
Yeah, not to mention it was just 79 Shines, but still, I thought
absolutely, it was like, nowadays, somebody would care. Like, I might care, or there might be a 79 Shine purist. I don't know who that person is, but people definitely care about those leaderboards. But back then, nobody cared.
If anyone out there thinks that no one cares about the mid-tier categories of main categories, there is way more care than back in the day. Literally no one cared back then.
Literally no one.
Like, any top player could just like touch those categories and get a free record. Like I did. It was free world record.
But yeah. The only reason I wanted to go back to like the reset timing debate was because I don't think we've talked about it on the podcast yet. Like, we've just kind of like talked about timing, but we've
skirted around it, and we're like, oh, we got to save it for when we're like really ready to tackle that just monstrous topic. It's really nothing though. It's just timing methods of a children's video game.
But yeah, so I don't think we really covered it. So Kaf is was initially a race filer. To go back to that.
Yeah. I was a race filer, and then I guess my mindset just changed. I'm kind of just of the opinion now that, like, because of the random elements and stuff in Sunshine, I just think if we switch to race file, like, it's just gonna turn into this like really stupid early game grind.
I feel situation. Like, obviously it's fully subjective, but from my perspective, I feel like the forced break that the intro cutscene gives you makes it feel less grindy than it would normally by just like resets not really mattering, because you have that time to like have a moment of clarity, sort of clear your mind for the next run, maybe just like talk to your chat a little bit, not worrying about gameplay. And furthermore, most importantly, you're not skipping gameplay, which is the most controversial part of it. There's, a literal boss fight you'd skip with that. So
I'm with Trey on that. I think it's a blessing in disguise, but I think that somebody's going to listen to this and go like, oh, 3 boomers get together on a podcast and talk about timing methods.
Yeah, just learned helplessness. Am I right? Just no, it's... I know that it's like very subjective, but that's just my personal take on it.
I just want to know, like, from Kaf's initial point of view of race file. Like, can you go back there? Like, can you go back in time to when you were a race filer to, like, process that?
So, back when I was a race filer, I think...
It sounds like such a bad thing.
He's a race filer.
It sounds like I'm, like, confessing, like, something bad. Or something.
Dirty race filer.
But, I think it was, like, a time where doing runs of Sunshine pissed me off, and so I wanted to like fix the game, and it seemed like race file was a good idea, And I think, like, honestly, if the community switch, I'd still probably be okay with it. But I think, all right, so from the race file perspective, yeah, I thought it would like make the game better.
Yeah.
You know, don't have to sit through the cutscene. You get to play more.
You're trying to save it. You're trying to open up the doors to to what I refer to as the amorphous blob of people.
Yeah, you're basically
welcome more people into the game.
You're opening the doors to these theoretical players who will play the game if race files allowed. Theoretically, they exist.
Part of that, and also just trying to make like Sunshine more enjoyable to speedrun to some extent.
Yeah.
Like if even for like the runners who still played, like I thought it would probably make the game funner, but
I'm not denying that it definitely could, to be honest.
I think it could. I don't really know, but
But like regardless of what decisions the community ultimately makes, just because I've been around for a long time and I'm a boomer, I personally will just keep using file select whenever I play, just because that's what I've done for my entire since 2013. Well, reset timing 2013, then file select from then on. So it's like it would feel weird and artificial to just switch that up after over 6 years of playing, you know?
Can I just like interject and talk about how much I hate how much boomers use now? Just like it just went from 0 to everybody uses boomer now.
Dude, that word accelerated faster than any word in like common language I've ever seen. It's crazy.
But it makes so much sense in like a lot of settings.
And I think it's all thanks to Twitter for that accelerated use of it, because like everyone's making fun of boomers on Twitter. It's not even funny.
Mm-hmm. So Calf. So raise file was a raise filer. You know what? AA meetings to try to prevent being a race filer. How do you come out of that mentality? Like, how did that mentality change?
Yeah. So
how did your third eye finally open?
I think there's like two main things. The first is that I don't think it would make the game that much more enjoyable, because it's gonna turn into like if you do a run now, you kind of want to keep the run alive. You're like kind of invested in the runs. I've ran Mario 64, and Mario 64's got a really short intro, and you can enter like really dark periods of runs where you just reset over like the tiniest things at the start.
Would you argue that having to reset Whomp's Fortress over and over again is worse than the intro cutscene to Sunshine?
I don't know if it's worse, but it kind of like numbs your brain, dude. You're just doing the same thing over and over.
I would definitely get that when I was speedrunning Pac-Man World 2, because in that game you can skip all the cutscenes, which is really nice. But you know, you're getting these instantaneous resets, and it's definitely nice. But I feel like I get burnt out from that game faster than anything, just because it's just like constantly grinding with these constant early game resets. It is a reset heavy game too, which doesn't help. So
maybe it's something along the lines of like the opening cutscene to Super Mario Sunshine makes the player makes the speedrunner want to be more consistent at the start. Like maybe it's something along those lines, instead of being like, oh well, I don't really have to be consistent, I'll just grind it until I get past.
Yeah, like and the intro cutscene, as stupid and dumb as this sounds, stupid and dumb, by the way, two different words. It develops a good habit of wanting to be consistent, like you said, because there's a lot more at stake to losing a run or like getting a time loss with that intro cutscene versus just, let's go right back into the next one. And also it makes you're probably going to be resetting a lot more for PDRNG in race file just because you can, which would be like really tedious.
But it also makes you want your mentality to be up there too. Where like it makes your mentality go past that and be like, it's okay if I screw up like a little bit at the start. Like there's so much more to the run. Just keep going. See if you can get certain things to go well later on in the run.
And then
it's
final
not just
note.
Consistency.
Oh, go ahead.
Go for it. No, go for it.
Final note on that, like taking a break thing. People then argue, you could just take your own personal break for however long you want. No one's gonna do that when they're streaming. Like, why are you just gonna sit there? Like, don't give me that.
I love sitting there.
Okay, guys, just give me a breather before the next round. I'll stay for 2 minutes. Okay. And
Did
go.
that have anything to do? I'm going back to Calf. Hey, Calf.
Hey, Calf.
Yo.
How's it going, Calf? So did that have anything to do with your break from Sunshine after? I don't even know. When did you start your break from Sunshine after being the Sunshine legend we know and love?
It was like at the end of summer 2015, I think.
It was shortly after you got your 117, I think.
Yeah.
So did the timing method have anything to do with it, or did you just like get sick of the game entirely, or like just to leave the timing method in the past? It doesn't have to be timing method related. I didn't mean for this whole start to be timing method related, and it wasn't supposed to be Calf and the timing method go hand in hand.
We can get off of that now if you want, but yeah, I think we covered it pretty well.
Yeah, I think we're covered.
But I think
let's go into story, Calf.
I think the timing method didn't really have anything to do with it. I just think the game, like, I just kind of sick of the game.
Dude, it's easy to get sick of games when you play them all the time, and the only thing that like you're known for is one game. Like I totally get that.
Yeah.
Not to mention that. Go ahead, Cap.
I've also got a theory that like, as I got good at Sunshine, this is going back to the real gamer stuff.
Real gamer hours.
But I stopped so much playing because I just like enjoyed Sunshine and more so played because it's like, oh yeah, like I gotta stay top player because that's cool or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And to be fair, I kind of, in my most recent return to any %, it was sort of out of a place of trying to stay relevant in that and like be top 10 again. But I also didn't want to kill myself when doing it, which is a good sign. So, because any % drives you to insanity sometimes, I tell you. Like if you're in a dark place mentally, do not grind any %.
So when you were grinding any %, or like the only reason you were playing Sunshine was to stay as a top player in Sunshine, you in your mind were thinking that you weren't a real gamer?
Nah. This is all things I've learned years later with reflection on the past.
Wait, so you didn't think you were a real gamer?
I didn't know what I was back then. I just wanted to play Sunshine because I don't know.
Because you're epic.
You don't like seeing your spot on the leaderboard go down and people get better than you.
Competitive.
So,
dude, that day that Wilco beat me in any %, ugh. And
then you didn't give a shit after that for like 3 years.
Yeah. Well, like, it was interesting because when I was playing any % and really committed to it and got my mid 119, I felt what Calf is talking about. It's just like, yeah, I'm sick of this game. I don't want to play this game. I'm done. I beat Trey. I was just like, everybody's down. I can't beat Calf. We're all cool. 7th on the leaderboard. We're good. And then we found EYG, or Calf found EYG. We can talk about that.
Yeah, it was
Calf
mostly
also
Calf.
found EYG. But then people found that, and I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. You guys have fun. And then I got knocked down to mid 30s after being 7th. And I was just like, after everybody just started beating me, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like I'm a game. I never thought I wasn't a real gamer though. I'm just trying that disconnect. It's really interesting that thought. Like I'm sitting here like watching ZFG do speedruns of Ocarina of Time, watching other people play Mario Maker, like still watching people on Twitch playing whatever video game I'm playing, and I don't think for a second, because I'm not playing Super Mario Sunshine or not playing it for the love of the game, that I'm not a real gamer. It's weird.
Does watching a lot of gaming streams on Twitch without playing games yourself make you a gamer?
See, I don't think there's anything. My mentality towards being a gamer, there's nothing to it. Like either you're a gamer and you enjoy playing games, or you enjoy watching people play games, or anything within the gaming sphere, and then you're a gamer.
Yeah, in your opinion, it's just as long as you're passionate about anything gaming related and like you're sort of into it, you're a gamer.
Yeah.
No matter what the hiatus is, if you don't touch a game for a year, you're still a gamer after that.
Yeah. If you still love it.
Yeah.
Like if you take a hiatus for a year, I don't know. But like if you just kind of let it sit there for however long, you can come back to it and be like, yeah, I'm still a gamer. I'm still here. I can do T-spins with the best of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we say that Kaffelon was the main finder of EYG because he really found the portion of it that sort of unlocked the realization it could actually happen, which was that you could stand on the Yoshi platforms going through the invisible thing, right?
Yeah.
So what was your thought process leading up to that? Or do you even can you even tap into your mindset when trying to find the?
Yeah, so it was like it all kind of happened over like 1 or 2 days, I think.
It was literally a weekend.
Everyone was just like, what was it? Oh, people just found out that if you have an orange Yoshi, you can and you could somehow get the orange Yoshi to the merry-go-round.
Yep.
Then you could get in.
The
so
good people were off to the races after Clayton figured out that the loading zone on the merry-go-round was there.
Except for me and Huff, I was doing my own thing during all this apparently.
Yeah.
And I came back one day, it's like, we found this crazy skip. I was like, whoa, okay. I'm gonna play more 120 sheds.
Everyone was kind of messing with the theoretical skip, and what got me to think of it was actually Pyro Shade got a stew over to the wall, the door you clip through to do it. He got a stew over there and sprayed it with the Yoshi platform. But back then, the only way we knew that you could get an enemy behind that wall was on one of the episodes with the open door, because we didn't know about the clips and stuff. And so the loading zone was in the way. But what he did was he sprayed and made a Yoshi platform and just let go of Yoshi and let Yoshi fly away, and Yoshi stayed on the platform and it went past the invisible wall. So then I saw that, and then I was like, how could I get this to work to get to the merry-go-round? And then I recalled to when me and Sid in 2014 were playing around with the wall, and I remembered that if you get behind the wall, then the bullet bills from the mole in episode 2 can shoot into that area if you're in a certain spot. So then what I did is I got back there with Yoshi with the fruit clip, and then I just sprayed one of the bullets, and then I just jumped on it, and then I got through the wall. It was just a black bullet. It wasn't a purple bullet. I just sprayed the black bullet and it went through the wall, and I was shit myself at that moment. And then I realized there's also purple bullets. So you could get a purple bullet to change the angle. And that's how it all kind of came together.
And then Kenny Cola.
Yep.
And then I told Kenny Cola how to do it, and then he got the first skip of it on video. And he got super lucky, by the way.
And then he put it.
And if you go to the original video, which is on YouTube, he changed the description to say that I found it and that he stole it.
Aww.
And that's sweet.
Happy ending. But I think that's the funniest.
Him super hard.
The funniest part of it was that Kenny, after being the first one to successfully do it on console, first of all, the highlight wasn't even a good highlight. It was 9 minutes of failing it and then finally getting it. He puts that on Twitter not Twitter, Reddit, and calls it a Wada skip found by Kenny Cola and other good players of SMS.
Satoru Iwata had just died.
Yeah, this was around when Satoru Iwata passed away, so we just called it.
He named it in dedication to him, and everybody kind of on Reddit, when people found it, they were just like, isn't that kind of in poor taste? And we're all just kind of looking at it. It's like, why is this called a Wada skip?
Maybe
Kenny?
we shouldn't name it a Wada skip. And thus became the series of a dozen different name potential ideas, and eventually EYG stuck. Early Yoshi go round. So.
Yeah, it should be that. But that's cool. That's a really cool story. I do still remember, even though it was literally what over 5 years ago, playing in Pinna Park with Kaffelon in a Skype call.
I was in that Skype call too. I remember
around.
Messing around with just the simple clip behind the door.
Yeah, just fucking around, clipping behind the door with the fruit, and just killing the wilted sunflowers back there, and going in Pinna 2. And
I mean, it's man, if one of this was actually useful for something.
Yeah. And then like a year later, it's just like, oh, Sid. And I was just like, what? Just like, we'll clip into the behind the door. We did it a year ago. And I was just like, yeah, okay. And he did it.
I wonder if, like, sometimes I wonder if I didn't exist, like, how long EYG, like, how long it would have gone, per se.
Well, do you think, like, maybe PyroShade would have found it eventually?
Maybe, but it's just kind of weird.
Yeah, there's, like, all different little puzzle pieces that have to go together to make it work. But that's interesting, though. I didn't mention this explicitly in the 80% history video, but, yeah, I gotta make my quota of mentioning that video every single episode. But I didn't realize that Pyro actually put a dismounted Yoshi on a platform and saw that go through the thing. That's super interesting.
Yeah, that's how I thought of it.
Yeah, but Kaf was the beginning of his own design. Like, he caused his own design. He was driving for 117 without an extra skip. Trey was goading everybody into being like, dude, it won't be possible without an extra skip. Nobody can do it. Kaf could almost do it, and then he screwed up in Noki 7, and then he found the trick that saved him in it. Kaf was the architect of his own destruction there.
It's sadly true.
Dude, EYG actually made any percent so bad for a while. I think that's another reason why I stopped. It was just like another PD.
Yeah, instead of 4 major RNG things, there were 5 major RNG things.
I remember after EYG was found, like, one of the most clearest things of watching somebody on Twitch grind SMS after EYG was found using the Pinna 2 setup is just Kaf, like, spin jumping into the wall, and I referenced it in an earlier podcast. He's spin jumping into the wall, and for some reason that invisible wall has some property where you can, like, hold towards the wall and just float attached to the wall with Yoshi, and just Kaf spin jumping into the wall with Yoshi and just sitting there going like, this sucks. Just like, he gets there, he like, it's a really good run up until into Pinna, and just like not talking, very focused, clipping into the wall, going into Pinna, very silent, and then the first thing he says in literally like 4 minutes is, this sucks. So funny. The funniest thing.
Yeah, like, that was literally 80%. Then it was like, you would just stick to that wall, and if it didn't come for 5 cycles, your run was probably over.
We all have to give thanks to Zelpiku Kirby for saving Super Mario Sunshine 90%.
I think out of any player, Zelpiku Kirby might carry this game harder than anyone else. What do you say?
So, yeah. No, like, he found Rocket Tech, he found everything.
Like, he finds all kinds of stuff, makes, like, pretty much 99% of the 80% tasks. You know, he's crazy.
Like, the reason that 96 Shine's gelato isn't horrible is because of Rocket Tech. Like, we'd have to do regular Sandbird.
Like, Sandbird went from one of the lamest shines to one of the most interesting.
Yeah. And now Reed has the world record. Shoutouts to Reed in that level, you know. I used to have it.
Reed's a god gamer.
Cool beans, you know. But yeah. So Kaf's... We talked about 2015 Kaf. Talking about EYG, finding EYG, his grind towards... What do you feel towards the 117 grind falling short without EYG?
You know, I was actually, like, pretty depressed about it for a while.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Well, like, when EYG was first found, it seemed like 116 was, like,
imminent,
a little bit far-fetched.
Oh. Never mind.
Well, yeah, like 116 was possible, but it was like the new skip just made grinding the runs like really stupid.
Oh yeah, I guess I forgot how crazy 116 did seem back then. So bouncy would push for it.
I was like, I just don't want to really do this. I remember I said, like, way back in the day, I was like, if someone gets a 116, I'll return to any percent. And then people started like in 116. I was like, well,
you're like,
this isn't good.
Maybe you can wait.
Yeah.
Also,
I kind of just didn't play for a while.
How much of an asshole did you think I was when I would keep rubbing it in that I was right that 117 wouldn't happen until a major skip was found?
Yeah, that was just stupid. Like, I probably would have got 117 within like one more week.
Yeah, I was so dumb. I would just rub in the fact that I was right, even though clearly it could have happened. But it didn't. It didn't happen, Calf. Okay, I'll stop.
Well, go for it, Kev.
Something that actually, yeah, that was a weird time because one, I didn't get the 117. I was kind of mad about it. Mm-hmm. Something I was like low key mad about for a while too, is that and like now I don't really care, but I kind of felt like I found EYG, and like no one, I don't know, like everyone was just like, it was a community effort. I was just
that would kind of piss me off too.
Dude, I think I took a break right at that time. So I think the era of late 2015 to like mid 2016, I wasn't really even a part of. So this whole thing of, because I don't think I did any percent grinding until Stu setup was found. Not that I was waiting for Stu setup, because after my 119 grind again, I was just so sick of the game. So I literally took a year off and played 96 shines every now and then. So, like, for you to say that you stopped playing because of EYG, like in some sense, like was it just EYG? You just referenced EYG.
Well, there's actually I think it was like a couple things at once. Yeah. It was like EYG. I wanted to get 117 and I didn't want to go for 116. And then also, I just got a run in to SGDQ 2015, which was hoverless.
Yeah.
So I started doing hoverless, and then I think after my hoverless grind, that's when I stopped playing the game really.
It's kind of funny how many people will get a GDQ run in, and then sort of just stop playing, and after that GDQ run happens.
Quan.
Like, I've seen it happen time and time again. Not to me personally, but it seems like a pretty common trend.
Yeah.
I guess because you do like all this work leading up to this one moment, then that moment happens, and then you sort of feel demotivated to keep doing it.
Yeah, Quan did that too.
Quan is he did that.
There's a bunch of people who do that. Yeah, you're right.
I'm still holding out that Quan's gonna come back someday though. For some reason, the sunshine bug, no matter how far out you think someone is, the sunshine bug almost always returns.
Yeah, Calf's just recently getting back into it. Hopefully it stays, but I don't know. He said he was gonna do a speedrun today. Actually, did you do a speedrun today, Calf?
I'm going to.
Nice. So you say EYG had some portion with it, like help with it. You say the community effort thing. Like what's that? I don't know anything about that. People saying that it was a community effort?
So what I'm saying was that, to me, when I found EYG, it was kind of like I found it, and to me it was like the biggest trick in Sunshine since Gelato Skip. So to me it was like a big deal. But
it definitely was.
I mean, it easily
I felt
is,
like no one was. This is how I felt at the time. Was that I felt like no one was giving me credit for finding EYG, so I was like kind of salty about that back then.
I think if you would have made the Reddit post instead of Kenny, you would have gotten a lot more credit.
Yeah.
So Kenny's kind of to blame for this, but oh well.
I might actually be kind of to blame for this too, because whenever anybody talked about EYG, I never really sang Calf's praises about it. I always went, I had the idea to look for the loading zone.
And I mean, that's
everybody
fair,
suck my dick.
Honestly, Sid telling Clayton to test the loading zone sort of snowballed, like kicked off the whole snowball effect.
But like Calf saying, it's a combination of a lot of pieces, but Calf was the... How did I describe it initially? It was like we all had the ingredients to the cake, but Calf was the only one that could make it.
Yeah, like, you said everyone got the ingredients for the cake, and then I baked it, and then Kenny walked out to the party with the cake.
Kenny grabbed the cake from the kitchen and walked into the living room where everybody was waiting for the cake. It's just like, yeah, I made a cake, guys. And Calf's just like covered in flour in the kitchen, just sitting there going like, okay, asshole.
And Kenny's just like, I made this. Everyone's like, yeah, it's okay. Actually, no.
That's
People
funny.
were still like, what a water skip? What the hell is that?
Yeah, what the fuck's a water skip?
The fuck is this? What is wrong with the Sunshine community? Jesus Christ.
Dude, we're cancer.
Show some respect.
We're saying that it's a community effort when Calf obviously found it. Toxic. Very toxic.
Well, you know, we did show our respect. That I'm sure you all remember the Awada race that happened.
Yep.
Like pretty much the biggest internet SRL internet like non-IRL race of Sunshine in history, where it was just the Awada respect race, the big ass 80% race. It was sick.
People? Like 47 people.
Yeah, and like 90% of the comments were for Awada, and it was really wholesome.
I edited that. I made the picture. If you go through my Twitter, there's eventually the photo of the Awada race with all the comments stuck out, and like I had to copy paste it like 6 times or like 50 times in order to make the photo. But there were a bunch of people that commented just like random bullshit, like other than for Awada, and I just kind of like edited it so that it said for Awada instead. Because some of them were like, for Awada, my power went out, blah 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 blah.
I think one of said my power went out.
Yeah, but there were other people that went just like not like intercapped for Awada. I'm like, yeah, fuck that. And then I just kind of like changed it. I don't even know. But yeah, everybody just said for Awada for that race.
Yeah, much. It was super wholesome.
Yeah, that was basically my last instant of Sunshine there. But so Calf was grinding for 117, found EYG to further the architect to his own destruction there, with Trey being correct because of Calf finding the trick. Where did you go from there? Like, you stopped playing Sunshine eventually, not wanting to do the 116 grind. Where was your mentality at that point? I know this is a lot of like trying to go back in time, but I kind of wanted to make this kind of a Calf interview.
Yeah, I mean, I can go back in time pretty good.
Go for it.
So I stopped playing Sunshine. I think I always kind of had plans at some point to like return. I remember I kind of tried to return, I don't know, like a year later, maybe 6 months later. And at that time, I was still like one of the best players.
And this was around when Bouncy Boy was on top, probably.
Yeah, it was like Bouncy, Tobo, Dide probably.
Yeah, Dide was about to rise up.
And like, I was pretty sure I can get like a top 3 time for free back then, but I kind of I could never get the motivation to play again. And I think it's just because for me, if I'm playing more for like the leaderboard spot than just because I want to play the game, then it's just like not sustainable. I can't play for too long.
But you can play for a bit.
I can play for a bit, but like I'm not gonna enjoy it, so I'm gonna end up like stopping at some point.
So then after Sunshine, you just kind of like went between games, right? Like you at some point there was the Tetris Grandmaster grind of Kaffelon. And
in which he did become a Grandmaster in TGM1.
Yeah, so the first thing I did was kind of grind Melee. I used to play a lot of Melee.
Oh yeah, there was a stream. You were on stream one time facing a psychiatrist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my first ever streamed match, I think.
You were Utah's finest
what were you
Marth.
named, Calf? What did you name yourself?
I don't remember. I was either Calf or Felon or something.
You were just Felon.
Yeah, now I just go by my normal tag all the time, Kaffelon. But did Melee for a bit, and then I think was it late 2017? I started playing Tetris, the Grandmaster.
Yeah.
And I was like, Tetris is sick. I'm gonna do this.
Tetris is Dude, I had not known until this year that Tetris was sick, but Tetris is sick.
It's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sick when you're into it, but I kind of am not into it at the moment a whole lot, as far as me playing it.
So probably like the most amazed I was at any GDQ run ever was the first Tetris the Grandmaster run showcase at AGDQ 2015.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's what got me into Tetris, and I remember just watching that, and it was like my mind was blown. And like I was already a speedrunner, And like when I got into speed running, it was watching Sigla make Mario 64, and like my mind was blown watching that. It was kind of like my mind was blown again. So after my mind got blown, I just like didn't play it for like 2 years. But 2 years later, I decided I'm just gonna try it out. And I was like really terrible at Tetris for a while, and I never played consistently. I would play for like a month, and then stop for like 6 months, and then play for like another month or two. And then eventually, after like 2 years of just like that on and off play, I got Grandmaster in the first game, and now I've cut my time down quite a bit. But I might go for a Grandmaster in the second game eventually, but that's like
That's quite a bit of a step
really
up
hard.
from what I've heard.
It's a big step up.
So eventually, Calf just like infects all these other games with his gamerdom. Like he's a lord in Super Mario Sunshine, but eventually he'll just like bleed over to all these other games. Like you did make your, or I was gonna say made your mark, but you did attempt to play Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and SM64 and all those like speed games after you left Sunshine.
Actually, yeah, you did quite a bit of Ocarina of Time because you were top 5 in that one category, or it was a main leaderboard category, right? Or
sorta. I don't remember.
Was it like no wrong warp?
No wrong warp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't too big. I had like I don't remember, like 4th or something, but yeah, that category was like not the biggest.
But yeah, like if you put your mind to it, Trey said it on multiple occasions, and he said it about other gamers that I'm not quite as sold on. But initially when he said it about Calf, I'm like, sure, yeah, the Sunshine only player, sure. Like we were buddies and all, but I know like there's always this doubt in my brain that Trey's tells the truth. No, that
you can't trust me.
You can't trust Trey, but whenever somebody's like really good at Sunshine. There's a lot of time commitment to it, and you don't necessarily have to be great at video games entirely to be good at Sunshine.
E.g. me.
It's like what we want to talk to Emo about, right? It's just like time commitment versus talent.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to talk about that with him.
For speedrunning. But so like initially I thought that Calf was one of those people. It's just like time commitment, blah, 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 whatever. But like once you have a lot of different credits to your name in many different games, you're just kind of like sitting there going like, oh, because I don't have very many credits to my name. I'm pretty good at Tetris 99. I'm good at Sunshine, however much, but
and you found
like
Rip Skip in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
I found Rip Skip. I can find things in video games.
Sid is really good at finding things. I have never been. My brain does not work in that creative way of finding stuff in games, sadly.
But Calf can also find things in games.
Calf's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, he's like he goes over to the OOT. He can make some sort of name there. He can get a Grandmaster. He can be the Legend of Super Mario Sunshine that everybody knows, and then he can just kind of play Dota, I guess, right? Like, there's a lot of things on Calf's resume, gaming resume. We've talked about gaming resumes in the past. Like Trey used to have like 4 to 4 average Trey or US Trey.
2 of which being categories no one gives a shit about, but yeah.
That's Trey's resume. A lot of Sunshine stuff. Pac-Man, former world.
All right, don't forget Pac-Man.
Top 100 Mario Kart Double Dash. Calf is a Legend of Super Mario Sunshine back in the day. Tetris Grandmaster. Well, yeah, I think I've asked Calf specifically this question, but not on the podcast, obviously. What's your gaming resume look like, Calf?
All right.
Like, what's on it?
1. Super Mario Sunshine, any percent world record. Plural.
Yeah, with a Z.
2. Tetris.
Oh yeah, that's number 2.
I mean, there's no like real order here.
Oh, are you like ranking your accomplishments now?
I'm just listing them.
Where would max percent hoverless world record rank up on there?
That wasn't even gonna be on it. But yeah, that was all right. No, that run was terrible. There was just no one good at the game who played it back then.
And then Minashi killed it by like actually getting a good run with it.
Yeah, because he actually cared.
For those who don't know, there's a category in Sunshine called max percent hoverless. It's not 120 shines hoverless because there's 4 blue coins that are impossible to get hoverless as far as we know. So you get 119 shines and 6 blue coins hoverless. And that's the category.
It's not even really max percent, because max percent Sunshine gets like what, 999 score with all.
Well, that's a different thing. We're talking.
I know, but like it's called max percent hoverless.
It makes
it's
sense.
all you can get.
It makes sense in the context of this category because it's just the most you can get with these conditions.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, resume, continuage.
Resume.
So I got that stuff. Yeah, I guess I played OOT. I was alright at that. No wrong warp, like 4th place or something. I don't remember. Hat in Time.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
let's talk about Hat in Time.
Fuck yeah, Hat in Time.
Oh my
Thank you for
God.
mentioning
I
Hat
forgot
in
about
Time,
this.
Kev.
Yeah.
What specifically for Hat in Time are you? What's on your resume from Hat in Time?
Well, there's 2 things. One, I had Hat in Time any percent world record at one point. Pretty shortly after the release. Yeah, it was like first few weeks. I don't remember. Second, they did the Hat in Time developers did a speedrun event before the game came out, where there was like 3 levels that you played through, and they did like a leaderboard for it. And if you had a top 5 time, you got like a stupid item in the game.
So it was supposed to be a golden hat, but what ended up happening with that? What'd you get?
Oh yeah, so they advertised it as you get a golden hat, but I actually got a golden square. So it's a hat with a golden square, and then in the square it says your time.
Wow.
Okay.
And the normal people just got a black square with their time.
Oh.
So I got the golden square.
Woo.
You get a square on a hat. That's insane.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was awesome, alright.
But yeah, I got 2nd place in that. I was like 1st place the majority of the event, but does this username who won the event got like a sick run in like the last hour. And I'm not trying to complain, but the last weekend of the event was also a weekend where there was a major Smash Brothers tournament going on that I had to go to because, major tournament, and it was near where I live. So Game Tyrant Expo in 2017, that was on the same weekend as the last few days of the event. And so the last day I stayed up like 30 hours because I like got home from the Smash tournament and then I just played Hat in Time all night. So, I was sleep deprived, but I don't want to.
Gamers don't sleep.
I don't want to cry too much about that. It was my
speaking
decision.
of crying too much about something, last week Trey and I, to combo onto the Hat in Time conversation, we talked about the Connor Ace situation, right? How he was accused of splicing and all that stuff, and then he was found out to be splicing with Cluster Truck. You actually are my first interaction, or not interaction with, but knowledge of Connor Ace was from the Hat in Time competition. So what's your take on Connor Ace from then?
All right.
Because Connor Ace got 3rd, right?
Yeah, so Connor Ace, he's like pretty good at the game. And this isn't like too well known about, but there's this thing in the game where there's like this meat cycle on the first level, and it's tied directly to your frame rate. So the higher frame rate, the faster the meat cycles are. And the faster the meat cycle is, like the meat cycles you kind of had to wait for, but if you made them faster, then you could go faster because you don't have to wait for them. And like the rules for the event were really bad. And like there was like a file in the game files that you could adjust the frame rate by like to whatever you want. And this is word of mouth, but
we're not accusing anyone here.
I've heard that Connor Ace got better cycles than the rest of us, and he may have edited that file. So that's all I know.
Oh.
And basically, the developers did something screwy when they programmed those rolling pieces of meat, and they're tied to the frame rate somehow. So supposedly, he slightly altered the frame rate, which slightly altered the cycles you get there, which made him have a significantly faster time in that one room.
Yeah.
Do you have any comment on the recent Counter Ace controversy thing with his splicing and everything?
It's
or
really
no?
weird.
Yeah?
I think
that's kind of how it goes.
Like, first of all, okay, so honestly, I think it's kind of hilarious. Like, I kind of, like the expanding brain meme.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Like the lowest level, it's like splicing a run for world record, and then next it's like splicing a run for random top 50 time, and then below that, the biggest brain is like splicing a run for a GDQ submission. That's what I thought
Galaxy
of.
brain idea.
Like, I don't know. I don't know, like, I've never heard of someone splicing a run for a marathon.
But hey,
submission. It's
you gotta
just
hand it to him. It
really
worked.
It did.
He did get that cluster truck running.
I don't know. It's just weird. And, like, it's weird. Like, you can defend him over, like, certain things, but I think the one thing you can't is the fact that he spliced a run and used that as a submission. And, like, I don't remember if he, like if he said in, like, the video description, like, when he submitted it or something, like, this is a splice run.
I highly doubt it would say that.
I don't think he did.
Like, I don't know. So.
Yeah, none of us really
weird.
know the full story of that. We're just kind of, from an outside view, all seems kind of weird.
It's weird. It's a weird fucking story. And Calf had some firsthand interaction with the player that did it, so I don't know.
Yeah, so we just get his 2 cents on it, and yeah.
So, Hat in Time is on the resume. I totally forgot Hat in Time was going to be on this resume.
How could we forget?
Got the ND%. Well, I forgot that the ND% world record was a thing that he got. Like I from what I remember is that like Calf played the Hat in Time intro event, and then when Hat in Time came out, was just kind of like, I'll play it, and then didn't really participate much. And I totally forgot that he actually committed to getting the world record after a bit.
But did you quit so early on because you were burnt out from that event, or were you just? Did you enjoy the movement in that game, or what were your thoughts on the overall movement?
Hand Time's movement is it's okay, but it's like pretty easy. Like it's really easy actually.
Is it like easy mode Sunshine?
Yeah, it's like I don't know. You just do like dives and rollouts, which sounds like Sunshine, but easier. There's like one thing in the game called like I don't remember. It's called like a super jump or something. I don't remember. That's like frame perfect, but it's somewhat similar to like, let's just say, a tighter GWK. So like once you get the muscle memory for it, it's like not that hard.
Oh, it's tighter than GWK, huh?
Yeah, because it's one frame.
Oh, I see.
GWK is like a couple frames.
But why don't you just adjust the frame rate to 10 FPS and it's a huge window?
I actually have no idea how that stuff works in that game. I have no idea.
So from the perspective of a former Sunshine or a Sunshine Lord, I'm not going to put former. I'm not going to say it. From a Sunshine Lord, the movement in Hat in Time is okay.
It's pretty fun. It's just like you're gonna hit the cap. You're gonna like what in Sunshine. I feel like you can play like infinitely long and like you can still get better at movement.
Yeah, there's a much bigger skill ceiling to the movement in Sunshine. There's things I still don't even do. Like you can enter the pinna cannon after every episode by doing a frame perfect hover canceled backflip into the cannon that you only ever see Reed do. But it's like it saves a little bit of time, but it's really technical.
Yeah, like
stuff like that.
I don't know.
Well, the only reason that's a relevant question is because when Hat in Time was being released, they were showing like the secret stages and stuff. Like Cosmo Wright, way back in the day when he was streaming Hat in Time was showing the cookie level, like the cookie secret with the spinning Rico 4 platforms and stuff like that, like basically one for one, and you just watch that movement and you're just like, well, this looked inspired by Sunshine.
Oh my god, those streams were so... That really puts into perspective how long Hat in Time was in development. When I was in my early years of watching speedrun stuff, this was 2013 or so, watching those early beta streams of the game, I wasn't even streaming. I didn't stream it all at that point yet. Like, this was forever ago. So it seemed like the game would never come out, and then it finally did. And, you know, the beta race happened, or the whatever, before the release race happened that Kaf did. Then the game finally came out, and it was quickly overshadowed by Odyssey, which came out 2 weeks later.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
they have all this time to develop it. Then they finally, like, yeah, this is the right time to put it out. And 2 weeks later, a AAA title also involving a hat comes out. And, okay, sure, all right. Yeah. Interesting decision on that release date.
And it's interesting to think about Hat in Time like that, too, because Hat in Time, like I was saying, has a lot of inspiration from Sunshine Movement. But there isn't a lot. Sure, there's like Kaf played it and had the any percent record, but other than that, I think Noak played any percent Sunshine after Hat in Time, right?
Yeah, that's
so
correct.
There wasn't really a lot of crossover from the Sunshine community going over to play Hat in Time for more than just a casual playthrough.
Yeah, honestly, I expected a few more players to really transfer over, but I guess people just preferred Sunshine's movement or just weren't interested.
Yeah. Interesting, because I haven't really thought about that ever. Just like, why isn't there more crossover between Hat and Time? Like, it just hasn't. It's never been a question that I've asked myself.
I mean, it's the same reason there's not much crossover between other 3D Marios. Like, very few players will be high level in Sunshine and 64 unless you're Ouija.
So, Kaf, was the movement just like I know you've already answered the question, kind of, but. Like, can you go deeper into the difference between movement in Hat in Time or Sunshine, or has it been too long since you've played that game?
Sunshine's just got more options. Like, I really do believe that hover and the nozzle like makes Sunshine what it is, and it's kind of just like take that out, and then also like there's no like spin jumps or side flips even, or like first person mechanics. It's just like a really kind of stripped down version.
Sunshine's spin jump is like the single greatest movement option in any game. It's so versatile, so satisfying.
It makes it so weird when you think about it for other games like Mario Maker 2. To go into Mario Maker 2 for a second, to specifically 3D World, because it's the most complicated movement-wise, because there's a bunch of different options you can do, but none of the options are, like, great. There's the spin jump you can do, which gives you a little bit of extra height, but it's not faster. There's, like, the weird backflip movement that isn't really useful at all.
And there's long jumping, it's really which is just long jumping.
Yeah, which is just long jumping, but, like, sure, it's the most complicated of, or there's probably Super Mario World runner that's just like, how can you say that Super Mario World, but it's not the same Super Mario World. It's Mario Maker version of Super Mario World. But like, it's weird when developers give you options that are obviously worse. Like in Super Mario Odyssey, when the spin jump in Super Mario Odyssey is horrible.
Isn't it useful in some weird ways in speedruns, or am I tripping?
You can do the spin jump into the roll.
Yeah, right. You can like do the spin into the roll. That's what I'm thinking of.
But like, the important part of the speedrun isn't the spin jump itself. It's that you can roll faster out of it. Like,
I don't understand why Nintendo literally got the spin jump correct in one game and then just it was shit every game after that.
Yeah, like it's interesting when they just kind of give you an option and then just make it worse.
Yeah,
weird. Like Sunshine, there's so many good options you have, and none of them are like outright bad. There's regular jump, and there's dive rollouts, and there's hover slides, and all this stuff, but nothing outright breaks the game. But for all these later developed games, they just kind of go like, oh, here's a spin jump, but it sucks, and here's a backflip, but it also kind of blows, and here's a dive rollout. It's slower than it's been. Oh, here's a long jump too. It's super floaty. Like, yeah, it's really weird.
It seems like less thought is put into the mechanics of your movement in later installments.
I don't know whose idea it was to make the roll, but that is like the worst thing I've ever seen.
I wouldn't mind it if you had to shake it to be at optimum speed. It's like, oh, rolling is cool, but if you want to go as fast as possible, you better keep shaking your controller. That's fun.
Rolling is stupid.
Yeah, rolling's just boring.
Yeah, I mean, rolling itself is pretty boring, yeah.
I didn't mean this to go into like Super Mario Odyssey hate, but just rolling.
Okay,
is
I
just
love
boring.
Odyssey, but the movement, in some respects, is a bit questionable.
I loved playing it casually.
Yeah, it's a great casual game.
I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, I would love an Odyssey 2 to come out.
Odyssey is my favorite Mario game casually, I'd say, overall.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I'd like to play Breath of the Wild 2 and Super Mario Odyssey 2 and something like that, but there's no part of me that goes, I want to speedrun that game. Like, there's none of that.
I think I was really close to running Odyssey with the initial hype and everyone's playing it, but then I quickly wisened up and was like, I probably wouldn't enjoy this for too long.
Cap, did you have any when Odyssey came out? When all the press releases were talking about how it's inspired from directly Super Mario Sunshine and SM64 rather than Galaxy and it's like a spiritual successor to those games. Did you have any inkling of speedrunning the game?
Not because like I like the game. If I ever was gonna speedrun it, it was just like, I don't know, to be on the leaderboard, and probably because I thought I'd be good at the game. But I played the game and I was just like, honestly, the rolling, like I really hate the rolling. Like I hate the rolling, bro.
That's fair.
I remember after playing it casually and starting like the Koopa races, in order to get those moons and stuff, and then we like Quan Isa, Pyroshade, and I all grinding separate. Like Quan might still be top 20, probably not. At this point,
no, hell no. They're really competitive now, I bet.
He got like top 20 in the Lost Island. What's that?
It might have been top 10. It was like that Lost Island one. What was it called?
Yeah, I don't.
Lost Woods? No.
No.
Not Ocarina of Time.
The one that you after you fight Cloud Bowser.
Or is it just called like Lost Kingdom?
Oh,
yeah.
Lost Kingdom.
The one with like all the poison water and the trees and stuff.
And the Wigglers.
Yeah, he had like a top 10 time when the game was pretty new.
And I remember watching that run and being like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then if you play the, because casually I didn't roll at all. Casually I didn't roll 1 second. I was just like, I'm gonna run and jump
because it's lame.
Because you know what, this is fucking Mario. But then I remember doing the moons for the Koopa the Quick the Koopa challenges, and when you got to Cap Kingdom, in order to be competitive on the leaderboard at all, literally the entirety of the Koopa challenge is shaking the controller and like hoping you get the right turns on the dunes and stuff. And I got like a top 200 time or something and went, oh my god, like if this is the entire speedrun, this is horrible. And there's a lot of rolling in Super Mario Odyssey. There's a lot. Dude, I just remember that. Go for it.
I remember watching the trailer, like Odyssey gameplay at E3, and I saw the roll, and I was like, this is gonna be so good. And it's really
you
good.
mean so good in that it's gonna be a good move
fast.
And it's gonna be bad?
And it's really fast.
Did you say good as in a good meme?
No, as in like a good move.
Very fast.
As in a good meme, yeah.
Because rolling's a pretty good meme.
Yeah, I don't think anyone who plays that game casually rolls all over the place.
No.
Because it's not very fun.
And it's also not that fast unless you're shaking your shit fucking controller. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Ray hates shaking his controller.
I hate it. I don't want to have to. I'm a gamer. I want to be lazy, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to work out and play my game. Feel me? Anyway.
So back to Calf. I like this constant reset of going back to Calf.
I like how Sid's here to keep us on track. I like it.
So after Hat in Time, so what else is on the resume? Have we gone past Hat in Time? I think we stopped at Hat in Time and then we went to Odyssey. a little bit of a diatribe.
Hat in Time. Well, This isn't speedrunning related. I used to play Overwatch.
Oh yeah.
I got Grandmaster in Overwatch. That was fun.
Oh yeah, Grandmaster in Overwatch, by the way. No big deal.
Dude, that's so good. Ugh. Why didn't see? Okay, now that you're trapped on the podcast and have to answer all my questions, why did you hate playing with my Mercy?
This is awkward.
You have to play if you want to play Mercy optimally. I believe you have to play like a big weenie, and you did not play like a big enough weenie.
Yes, dude, this is the best answer that could. This is the best answer that I could have gotten.
So Sid plays too Chad-like for your taste.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, for Mercy.
Yeah.
He's chatting out way too much as Mercy.
You can't be Chad and a good Mercy at the same time.
Sorry, Sid.
Dude, this is the best answer that I could have like wished for. Like either there was no answer or it was going to be a bad answer, just like you suck balls. But it's just like, no, you're too balls out crazy with your Mercy. I'm totally happy with that because I have asked Cav multiple times in the past to be like, hey, you want to play Overwatch with me? And just like no response.
Ooh, rejection.
Not a goddamn. Like 3 days later, I look at Discord, just like, nope, not a goddamn response. But this is the best answer I could ever get.
To be fair, it was probably when I was in my tryhard mode, and when I'm in tryhard mode, I don't want to play with anyone. I just want to like play solo. So yeah.
So who did you main?
I played like Zarya mostly,
yeah.
and some Reinhardt.
Have you tried any of the role queue lately?
Yeah, I'm personally not a fan of Overwatch right now. It's like, yeah, it feels too like constructed. Like, I don't know, just like the 2 damage, 2 tank, 2 healer thing is.
There's no flexibility.
It's kind of boring. Yeah.
Too strict.
I
haven't tried it. Emo recommended that I like start trying to play with them or something because they were trying to get back into it at some point, and I was like, nah, I don't know. I just haven't gotten the urge to go play Mercy again. Like,
you don't feel like playing Farmville again?
Yeah, I don't feel like playing Farmville. I've officially kicked Farmville out of my my gamer repertoire. I don't have to go back and play that anymore.
And but
Trey was also go for it.
I only ever played Overwatch in the Wild West days when you could have 6 tracers on a team.
Yeah.
That was sick. I remember this is a really funny thing. We were like, it was like Calf, you and I, and some others queuing together against a team of 6 tracers, and we were like trying to give call outs. Like, Tracer over there, Tracer over there.
Yeah.
And then Calf was getting like pissed
like, Tracer
off.
behind.
He's like, why the fuck are we giving call outs if you're just gonna be like, oh, I died?
Oh, I died.
Because dude, they destroyed us. 6 tracers is no joke.
Dude, we're so sick of call outs. Oh, I died is such a great meme.
Oh, I died.
When we're trying to call out specific directions of Tracer, just like, oh, Tracer on the left,
Tracer on the
Tracer
right,
on the right, Tracer behind,
yeah,
Tracer up top. And
that was the match where I realized maybe they should limit it to one of each hero.
Tracer. I wonder if they kept it, like not specifically one specific character per team. Like what kind of Overwatch meta would have developed? Because apparently, like I've seen Overwatch pros talk about that theoretical future of just like, oh, if they just left it where everybody can pick whatever character and do whatever they like, that the meta could have been really cool, but they kind of like nipped it in the bud real quick.
Yeah, they never really let that develop. Like after literally season, when competitive came out, isn't that when they put their foot down? Yeah.
Like, I've heard people talk about like double Hanzo was a really good counter to certain, but like casually, I totally get it. I totally get casually. It's just like, oh, we get 6 Bastions. Like, great.
I remember like first month it was out, the meta was 2 McCrees, 2 healers, and like 2 Zaryas.
Dude, McCree was busted when that game.
Yeah, McCree was like when his Fan the Hammer did 75 per hit. He could just melt through tanks.
Cap was. Go for it.
I think Overwatch is kind of it's kind of just like not well designed for both competitive play and like wanting an enjoyable ranked queue experience, in my opinion. Like,
you can't please everyone.
If you don't put limits on it, then people like can like, you know, you got like the 6 DPS teams but also it kind of squashes. If you do put a limit on it, it squashes like how interesting the game is to me, at least.
Huh. So the ranked perspective versus the pro perspective.
Yeah, just like. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
So I mean, we've been talking.
I know when.
Where were you gonna get to?
I was just gonna go on to something else. Go for it.
Was it like cap related?
I was gonna ask Calf questions. That's my role here. I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna ask Calf questions, and we're gonna keep rolling down the highway that is the podcast.
But here's my question: was it a good question?
Go for it.
What was your question? A good question? That's my question.
My question sucked.
Based on your power ranking of your question, should I ask my question?
You ask your question.
Okay.
Go for it.
This could be getting ahead of myself, but I think...
Please edit that out.
No, that was sick. Editing? What? I never edit stuff out. So that wouldn't you say we pretty much covered Calf's journey through gamerdom to the present day?
Sure.
So where does that leave you now? What is your current, plan in gaming? You've been coming back to Sunshine. How serious will that be, and what other games are you playing at the moment?
All right, my current gaming career, Super Mario Sunshine, but I actually have a goal, which is to complete one speedrun every day. However,
the Sid approach.
The Sid goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that was the Sid approach until I listened to the last podcast today.
Oh, he listens to the podcast.
But now
we have a fan.
Someone listens to the shit.
But I want to do a run every day. I want to not take it. I don't want to obsess too much over the strats and everything. I kind of just want to play how I want to play. And if I'm not having fun, I'm going to stop. So because of that, I'm not making any promises yeah, dude, I'm going to grind for 115. I'm going to grind for 114. No, I'm just playing. If I don't like it, I'm not playing. And that's it.
That's fair.
That is one of my weird pet peeves when someone in my chat or anywhere ask, so do you see yourself playing such and such game in a few months? I don't even know what I'm going to eat for lunch tomorrow. How do I know what I'm going to feel like playing a month down the line? I just don't see it. You can't plan that stuff out. You just, whatever you're feeling, you just got to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, other than that, I don't know. Dota sometimes.
Yeah, Dota sometimes. The finish one run a day seems very current Calf to me.
Current Calf.
Yeah, well, I feel like your mentality towards gaming, I've been referencing the whole fucking podcast, it's just been developing ever since I've started to know you. At the start, you were just grind, monster.
Oh yeah,
and then
Calf
you
was
took
the ultimate grind monkey at first.
You took a break from grinding and then went, oh, I'm not a real gamer. And now
my life is a lie.
My entire life is a lie. And now you're just kind of back on playing for fun kind of a perspective. It's really interesting to see how you've developed as a person.
Yeah.
In that way.
Well, I think my theory is if you truly like the game and you want to play, you're going to get better pretty naturally because you're invested into it. But if you play, if you're forcing yourself to play every day, you might be able to kind of analyze how to improve and stuff, but you're just going to be kind of in a bad mental funk where improving is hard.
What if you're forcing yourself to play every day? Sure. But in a very healthy mentality way.
I mean, if it works for you, I don't know.
You do you.
For
everybody
me,
does their own thing.
For me, I can get pretty good even if I'm forcing myself to play, but
humble.
It's still kind of
well, it is Kaffelon.
It's not as fun. It's not as fun, and I think like I said, long term, I'm gonna get bored of it in a month. So I might improve my time. Maybe I'll get 115, but then I'm just gonna be sick of the game, and so I'm gonna stop there again.
Oh, all right, my final question though, specifically Sunshine related. Is any of this recent inspiration for you coming back to Sunshine because I beat you?
Ooh, I didn't even think of that. Oh my god.
I just thought of it.
I didn't even think of that until you asked that question.
I have a better time currently than Calf on the any percent leaderboards. I'm not saying that I'm better than Calf. I'm not saying any of that.
I can't believe that Sid's a better player than Calf now. It's crazy.
I didn't say that.
That came out of nowhere.
But have you thought of that at all? Does that even make your scanner?
To be honest, like no.
Good.
But I've watched Sid do some runs, and remember I was in your chat the other day, Sid?
Yep.
I was complimenting your movement.
I thought it was sarcastic.
You're really good in the game now. No, it was not sarcastic.
Anytime someone compliments his movement, he's like, surely he's lying. My movement sucks.
Yeah, surely he's fully like if I respect the player at all and he comes in my chat and goes like, oh, that's yeah, you got some pretty good movement here. I'm like, you fucking asshole. Fucking coming into my chat, making fun of my shit.
I'll show you good movement.
I've just got like a bad reputation. Everyone always thinks I'm sarcastic.
Dude, remember our first interaction on Skype?
Oh, this is a funny story.
To go way back.
Yeah.
This is like such what I was saying about like the development of Calf as a person. Calf is such a different person than the first day I messaged him on Skype.
Didn't Calf like think that you hated him or something?
He thought that I remember messaging him on Skype. We friended each other, and I was like, "Sup, fucker," or "Yo, fucker," something like literally that. And he was just like, and his response was like, "This guy. What was your thought process? Can you go back that far?"
You go all the way back.
Honestly, I kind of even can't, cause like, yeah, I don't know what was going on in my brain, but I was just like, what's wrong with this guy? Just like, he just messages me. Like, we never talk. He's just like, sup, fucker. And I'm like, all right.
To be fair, Sid might have gotten too personal too fast. But
like, compare it to like Calf today with all of with friendship with Rat and friendship with Kinney and like everything that we've, I don't know, just like all the trolls that we've succumbed to as a part of the SMS community and all this stuff. It's just
all the toxic.
Just go back to that first
people.
interaction of just like sup fucker and being like caught off guard by it.
Yeah,
it's so interesting.
Yeah, I guess nowadays sub fucker is a pretty common introduction at any level.
Yeah, I say sup fucker to everybody. I used to say sup fucker to everybody, and then Calf was just like, yeah, our first message. I don't know. I thought you hated me. I was just like, what?
I feel like we weren't hitting it off very well initially. Yeah.
But yeah, this has been really nice having you on the pod. Do you have anything else to say, like else to talk about, Cav?
No, I will leave everything as it is.
I thought that was really good as a first guest. I'm glad that you were our first guest.
Thanks.
I definitely learned a lot more than I thought I would. I thought I knew Calf like the back of my hand, but you know he's been places.
But yeah, Calf has been a buddy of Trey, and a Trey buddy, if you will.
One of those Trey buddies.
One of the glorified Trey buddies for many years, and it's been really nice to have him on the podcast as our first guest. And hopefully all of the rest of our guests go similarly as well. And I guess this is me or Average Trey. If I can get the go ahead to
I will give you the go ahead to get the sign off.
This has been Video Games Are Hard, Calf Edition.
First guest.
Everybody have a good night. First guest. Everybody have a good week, and we'll see you guys next time.
Remember to ask questions in the comments below. I found that out.